Mr. Lowe, you ready? You ready? Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sincerely hope that everyone is feeling well and finding well. You just stay warm. It's been cold. We're certainly getting ready for some frigid temperatures, I think, in the morning. Many thanks to everyone for your dedication, understanding, flexibility. We have moved this meeting around from dates, places, times. So you're all here, and I appreciate that. I have the distinct honor tonight of introducing Pastor Lynn Blackburn. Pastor Blackburn has been very flexible with us. He was invited and came in May, but that was the meeting we had to cancel. Thank you so much for your understanding and flexibility and for adjusting your schedule today, again, to be with us, Pastor Blackburn. Uh, Pastor Blackman has been the pastor of Clinton Family Worship Center for over 30 years. He was born in Hampton, Virginia in 1963 and moved to North Carolina in 1971. He has been married to his beautiful wife, Stephanie, for over 35 years. Pastor Blackman and Stephanie have a daughter, Megan, who is married to CJ Dew. Megan and CJ have two beautiful children, Summer and Weston. In his spare time, Pastor Lynn enjoys playing basketball, fishing, hunting, and spending time with his family. Please join me in welcoming Pastor Lynn Blackburn.
Yes, sir. Well, ever since I turned 62, the basketball world has come to a close. I'm giving up on the NBA drafting me. But thank you for allowing me to come this evening. And we have had conflicts of schedules, but glad to be here this evening. Would you bow your heads with me? Eternal Heavenly Father, it is in your Son's name, Jesus the Christ, whom we come to you so boldly but yet humble to say thank you, Lord, for getting us through these threats that we've recently had with the weather and keeping us safe and taking us where we needed to be and keeping us on our journey. And Lord, I just pray that as we gather in this room on this evening, not only are we mindful of your safety that you have provided, but as this meeting is being conducted, that your presence will be made known. Lord, that your presence will flow in this place like a water cascading off the side of a mountain and falling upon those that are coming together to unite this community, our schools, and our students. And I pray your blessings upon each one and each subject that they're going to be talking about. Like the anointing that would fall upon Aaron's head, it will run down his beard, down to his skirt, to where he stood. And Lord, we just pray that it will flow all over and that your peace will be in this place. And I thank you for your love and your forgiveness in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Blackman, for your inspiration, faithfulness, and your willing to serve our community. Please let us know if we can be of assistance to you. Next item is the call to order. I welcome our students and their parents, our staff. See, we have a lot of the Carr School staff and their principal in the building with us today. Community members, our board members who are present, those who are joining us in person, and those who are joining us via live stream. Special thanks to Mr. Lowe for assisting with the technology. Today is Monday, January 26, 2026, and I officially call today's meeting of the Clinton City Schools Board of Education to order. On the screen, you have our theme, our vision, our mission, and our core values. Our deepest gratitude is extended to our front line and essential workers, those who care for us and protect us. As everyone knows, we can't do this work alone. Our thoughts are also extended to our students, employees, and their families who are coping with sickness and the loss of loved ones. The entire Clinton City Schools family sends our deepest sympathy to the families of Clinton High School senior Julius Robinson and our longtime technology specialist, Wawa Code. Both Juju and Wawa were great young men and were assets to our school and community. Our prayers and thoughts are extended to both families. Please remember our city, county, state, national, and our international leaders and partners as we address all the challenges that we face today. I will now call the roll. Board members and attorney, Mr. Jeremy Edgerton.
Present.
Pastor Russ Emanuel,
Present.
Mr. Clark Hales.
Present, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Dr. Oscar Rodriguez is
Very often in my life. Good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you. Vice Chair Carol Worley. Attorney Rebecca Williams is joining us remotely.
Present.
Thank you. Superintendent and staff, Dr. Wesley Johnson,
Present, Madam Chair. Good to see everyone.
Dr. Linda Carr.
Present.
Miss Emily Devane is not.
Present.
Oh, okay, remote. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. John Lowe,
Present.
Miss Sheila Peterson,
Present.
Dr. William Van is not joining us tonight, and Miss Valerie Van.
Present.
Thank you. Please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Next item on the agenda is public comments, and at this time, we have not received anyone that has registered for this session. So we'll move on to approval of board agenda. Board members, you've had an opportunity to review the agenda, and I ask for a motion to accept the agenda as written.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Edgerton. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Pastor Emmanuel. All in favor, let it be known by the word aye. Aye. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is approval of consent agenda. Likewise, you've had an opportunity to review the consent agenda. It had quite a bit on it this time. And I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, I make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Hales,
Second.
second by Mr. Edgerton. All in favor of approving this consent agenda, let it be known by the word aye. Aye. Motion carried. Thank you so much. Move on to the education spotlight. And Dr. Johnson, Dr. Carr.
I'm ready, Madam Chair. Sorry, I was trying to get everything. I clicked on the wrong link, but I believe I'm in the right one currently. So we are going to hold our students of the month and our employees of the month. We did share that with all of our principals and got the email out. So we're going to hold those until March. So March will be a busy month as we'll have several students of the month and employees of the month to recognize. And we were excited because we had gotten an email out to all of our employees of the month about tonight. But we do have a special recognition and Mr. Lowe is going to pull that up. And so January is School Board Appreciation Month. And we do want to celebrate all of our board members. And so we've got this little presentation for us to view tonight, but we'll start. John, go ahead. Dr. Linda Brunson has been serving the board since 2018. Mr. Clark E. Hales has been serving the board since 2019. I think I remember when these pictures were taken. Mr. Jeremy P. Edgerton has been serving the board since 2020. That was a great year to join the board, right in the midst of COVID. Pastor Russ A. Emanuel has been serving the board since 2019. Dr. Oscar A. Rodriguez since 2020, another good year to jump into the frying pan. And Miss Carol A. Worley has been serving the board since 2010. So we have a little message here celebrating your dedication and service to the students, staff, and community of Clinton City Schools. Thank you, one Dark Horse Premier Driven, and a big thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know the links that you all go through each and every month and day to ensure that our Dark Horse students and staff are taken care of. And I appreciate what you do each and every day. So just from the bottom of our heart, we have put a little token of our appreciation there at your desk. And we do have another little thing that's on the way that's going to be coming. We had some issues with it, but it'll be here soon and we'll get that to you. But thank you from the bottom of our heart. Team, anything y'all want to share, or staff, other than just thank you?
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I think you have one special presentation, right?
I do. And thank you, Dr. Johnson, and thank you all for the gifts and for what you do every day. You're here today, out of school today, still here this afternoon. So we do thank you for all that you do. If you recall, in December, we had a celebration at the high school. We celebrated our county commissioners for what they've done for Clinton City Schools. And we celebrated one of our own, our Vice Chair, Carol Worley, that night. It was a great night. A lot of students there, a lot of parents, a lot of family and friends. But we had a little delay in one of the things that we were going to give Ms. Worley. It came in about a week ago. So I want to take this time, don't look so surprised,
It's not.
to share this with her.
Yes.
There was a news article in the Sampson Independent right after Carol was named the Raleigh Demon Award winner. And we went to a couple of planning meetings, and she was walking around with the news article all folded up, kind of carrying it around. I said, Lord have mercy. She'll never keep up with that little piece of paper for the rest of her life. And I know it's a great occasion, great memento. So we decided that we would get it framed for you and placed on this, so you won't have to carry around that little Sampson Independent with you forever. Okay. So we want you to take this and place it anywhere you want. We are going to dedicate the wall to the right of that door to her as a Raleigh Demon Award winner. So I'm not sure if you want to put that up. Whatever you want to do with it is yours. So that newspaper, you can keep it because it's original, but this is the same thing, and it'll be preserved for you for years and years and years to come. Let's give her a round of applause. So do you have a speech?
Not watch here.
You give me 30 minutes tonight as well?
No, ma'am.
No, I don't have a speech. It's just a heartfelt moment. I tell you, I've been on a roller coaster since that whole time. Stepping off that elevator and seeing who I wasn't supposed to see, letting me know that there was some deception going on, making me think that I did not get this award. And so that's when it all really started for me, and all of the emotion and everything. But it, it's just been, and after that, realizing the weight of it all and what comes along with it is, thank you. It's just been a lot, and I've attended the first meeting, and it was amazing. I told them everybody was just really nice, welcoming me when I first came in, and when I came upstairs, I said, "Well, everybody's just been really nice." I said, "Everybody around here is really nice." They said, "Well, I told them you were coming." I said, "Oh, wait a minute now. I don't expect this is just happening today because you told them I was coming. If this what you gave me today, I'm expecting this every month when I come through that door." And they said, okay, we got you. So, but it's just been a really good experience. That was the quickest meeting. And they told me, "Oh, don't expect this every month. This is the fastest meeting we've had." I said, "Well, I guess that's because I was here." They said, "Well, we hope you show up every month if it's going to get us out of here this fast." Because we got out about 10:30, 11 o'clock that day, which was unusual. So I really don't have much to report from that meeting. But as the year goes on and the things that we discuss, we've had a conversation about it that Dr. Johnson will let me know, particularly the things that he wants me to key in on and bring back to share with the district. But I'm just so grateful of all of the love and appreciation. I don't do this work for any of the accolades, but when you get them, it feels good to know that people see the work that you do and appreciate the work that you do. So I'll stop talking because I know we're getting out today at 5:30. That's on record. We have said that. I will not be the cause of holding up this meeting. So, but again, thank you to everyone in this room, those who are listening on the live stream. There's a lot of love in this community, and I have certainly felt it. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Worley.
We're good.
And the meeting she's referring to, she's an ex officio member of the State Board of Education. So in addition to sitting here with us and helping making local decisions, she's also at the state level as well for a year. So we're proud of her and looking forward for her to bring us some stuff back from Raleigh. All right. So in light of the 5:30 dismissal, let's just move on to Dr. Carr.
We have our last two school improvement plans to share with you, and we'll start with Mr. Dirks and his team and let Mr. Dirks share with you their school improvement plan for LC Carr.
All right, I brought the entourage along. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Hey.
Good afternoon, everyone. With us today, I have Miss Melvin, Miss Thompson, Miss Colglazier, Miss Kennedy, Miss Davis, Miss Rice, and Miss Williams. We're going to go through LC Carr's school improvement plan for the 25-26 school year.
Okay. Next slide, please. I'll be reading, I'm Ms. Thompson. I'll be reading the mission and the vision. Our mission is to educate all students to their highest level of academic performance, to support them socially and emotionally, and to prepare them to become productive and contributing members of a modern society. And the vision is, as we continue to work through this year, Clinton City Schools will be the premier learning community in the Southeast, improving the world one dark horse at a time.
All right, I'm Miss Kennedy. Hey. I'm going to be talking about goal 1, which is reading our M class. Meeting or exceeding state expectations in reading. LC Carr will contribute to the success and overall growth of all students in reading by evaluating student data collected through M class and letters during BOY, MOY, and EOY assessments to reduce the number of non-proficient students throughout the year. And our actions that we plan to take, that we are doing for this, is once we get our data, we have data talks. We do it amongst ourselves. We do it with Mr. Dirks. We do it, like I said, with other teachers in PLC. We do it grade level. Data is just one of those things that we just start talking about all the time. And through that, we set individual goals for the children. In the past, when I saw a kid was blue, I thought, oh, okay, we're good. Okay, I'm going to work with these reds and all. But through our guidance of Mr. Dirks and his leadership, he's like, okay, now we need to focus on them just as hard as we do the yellows and the reds and the greens to make sure that they can get that average, above average, or well above average growth that they need. We're using our burst intervention. There's a calendar schedule that's connected there to your PowerPoint that we, with Fidelity, we go through that to make sure that we are keeping up with their progress and looking at what they're doing. Letterland, thanks to Letterland, it's been a great success this year. That's been another thing that we've been using to ensure that our kids are meeting, that we're meeting their needs. Haggerty in pre-K and kindergarten, progress reports, report cards, sharing that information with the parents constantly in communication with them, letting them know where their child is. HMH in the reading, literacy family night. We had that September 11th. Mr. Centino does in EL night. He had that October 22nd. Pre-K had a night, October the 7th. We, like I said, we're in constant communication with them through progress reports, report cards, and even Class Dojo. Parent conferences, social media, and just recently in January, we had another curriculum night where we actually took the M-Class data and handed the report to the parent and said, this is where your child is, walked them through it. I'm so used to PSF and NWF, it's just like second language to me. And you hand that to a parent and they're just kind of like, Okay, what does this mean? So we stopped and we took them through step by step what to do. We gave them interventions to take home, little timers, just to get them to understand this is what we're looking for. This is how you can help us, and what their goals were set.
Thank you, Ms. Kennedy. I'm Ms. Cole Glazer, and I want to present our M-Class data. So you can see our 24-25 BOY, MOY, EOY data there. Our BOY coming in this year, we had 61% red, 17% yellow, 12% green, 10% blue. So we set our expectations for MOY to be 30% red. And I am proud to, our teachers, I want to brag on our teachers for all that they do, all the things Miss Kennedy just described. So with our actions in place that she just described, we're proud to see that our students have exceeded our MOY expectations, as we had 23% red and our goal was 30%. With yellow, we had 22% yellow and our goal was 26. With green and blue, we had 55% green and blue and our goal was 44. So we are on a good, path to growth, and we can't wait to see what our students and teachers do for EOY expectations. So I give our teachers, I just brag on them. They're awesome.
Congratulations.
All right, I am Miss Davis, and I'm going to talk about goal area number 2, which is our math, which is iReady. Meeting or exceeding state expectations in math, LC-CAR will continue to contribute to the success and overall growth of all students in math by evaluating student data collected through iReady during BOY, MOY, and EOY assessments to reduce the number of non-proficient students throughout the school year. We had a beginning of the year family night, and then we also just had a family night as well, or curriculum night. And Mr. C actually made packets for all of our ESL students that had math and ELA in it as well. Progress reports and report cards, and then having parent conferences about those progress reports and report cards to give that information. iReady math professional development, instruction and interventions for teachers, parent-teacher conferences, which I just mentioned, parent communication through Classroom Dojo, social media, and KEA, kindergarten entry assessment. We also, as Ms. Kennedy said, for ELA, we also have pod meetings and PLC meetings as well.
And the iReady data. So iReady is a little different for our students. This is computerized testing. You're putting a 5-year-old on their very first computer test. Their headphones are on, the questions read aloud to them, and they're navigating the computer. And so it takes some practice getting used to the computerized testing. But BOY, we had 213 students at emerging kindergarten level and 9 students early to mid. MOY, we had 160 at emerging and 68 early to mid. So we didn't meet our MOY expectations, but I know Ms. Flynn has been very diligent in working with our teachers, and they can share a little more about, I know they're doing a cadence paper, if you guys want to, yeah.
So Ms. Flynn and Mr. Dirks had a meeting with us, and instead of focusing on students, whether they were yellow or green, we actually looked at the students' growth. Like if they were not at least 50% or above, we decided to do, and this is the middle of the year, we decided to do the Cadence, which is more, it's free and it's more of a paper thing versus just computer-based. So it kind of gives us a better idea of where our students are. And then also, how can I, like, for instance, I had a student who is, he's a retainee, very high in math, and he didn't move at all. So now I have to look at how can I move him? How can I help him grow? So we took a very in-depth look at that, and we set some interventions in place, as well as we set goals for ourselves. And she made a little platform where we can go in and put our goals. Did we meet our goal? If we did, what is our next goal going to be? Or if we didn't, how are we going to make sure we meet the goal the next time?
Hi, I'm Miss Rice, and I am here to impart share goal three, which is pre-K family engagement. LCCAR believes that a joint effort between teachers and parents promotes excellence in learning, and that supporting children from pre-K through the early elementary continuum requires a collective understanding of increased literacy skills in their primary years. None of this will be possible or without the foundation that we build in pre-K. And that comes along with the relationships that we build with our parents. Our pre-K grade level works to meet these indicators by staying connected with families using tools such as our TS Gold curriculum, Ready Rosie Family Engagement Platform, which is an extension of our curriculum, and Class Dojo. Between our monthly newsletters and at-home activity calendars, we make sure learning continues long after the school day ends. We also host parent nights, as Ms. Kennedy has shared, and one-on-one parent conferences to help explain each child's progress on a more independent level. And now Ms. Williams.
Thank you, Ms. Rice. So one of our more recent examples of this is through our recent Eckers evaluation, which we are proud to announce that was a success. It was well worth it. And with that feedback, Eckers is a gold standard for early education, and it confirms that our classrooms are high-performing early learning environments. These results prove that we have positive interactions between home and school, and that our students are being prepared for a successful transition to kindergarten. And these quality ratings are always available to the public, to families, and we at LCCAR prioritize high quality learning and honor the vital role families play in this process. Thank you.
I have also shared with you the burst schedule, so it kind of generates what we do through that 10-day phase cycle. And that same schedule is what Butler Avenue follows as well. So when you see that, that kind of sets the tone for how we going to have, kind of puts it in a unit plan. It also allows interventions. And I forgot, some of this would not be done without Mr. Santino's help. Our last parent night, he probably had 125 parents in our multi-purpose room with parents as we share with our English-speaking parents the curriculum of math and reading. He is sharing in Spanish with our Spanish-speaking parents, and he's going through the manipulatives. And we always chide him because he's a preacher part-time, I think is what he is, because about an hour he's just getting warmed up. And so he has a great rapport with our families about every month he will meet with them. He actually had 10, 15 parents that were not coming to his Monday evening events throughout the month, and gave them a whole packet of what he does inside of our schoolhouse. So LCCAR's school improvement plan. Any other questions? Brother Russ, welcome. That's all we have.
Have questions of the Carr School staff? No, thank you very much. I can see the joy and the glee in your excitement in your face.
Well, the results were great.
With the Eckers score, folks, what it is 35 different items. It's the early childhood environmental rating scale. And they basically come in, they're there for 3 hours, and they're in the weeds. They're not short of pulling books off the bookshelf, right? For instance, Miss Williams used the word foundation in a dialogue with the student. And since she didn't come back and touch that concept again, we lost a point because of that. It's 1 to 7, and you have to get above a 5 to get the kudos. And if we didn't get above a 5, we'd have to come back. Our North Carolina pre-K would have been, kind of put on pause. So, that's the other hat I wear as a certified child care provider. That doesn't determine our star rating. That will come this fall. Okay, so there's a little bit of pieces to this puzzle. Okay, they went through the lunch line. So Miss Peterson had a piece of this puzzle. Miss Dolores and our cafeteria staff, our custodians had a little piece of this puzzle. And so with this coordinated effort that we had, and you give them a 30-day period, and during that 30-day period, they can just show up. And you go, oh Lord, here they are. And birds in the bush, and that's how it kind of If you remember that, if you remember that alarm, right? That's what happens. But our NC Pre-K, great job for that. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just glad to hear that, put a computer in front of a kid's face, and if it's not working out, we go backwards to paper. Cause that seemed, that.
Roger, we had that
I'm tickled
conversation.
to death to hear that.
Roger, we had that conversation. We were going to try to look at it at the beginning of the year, but with Casey Avery's favorite saying, we do a lot of weighing the pig the first month of school, right? And we don't feed it a lot. So what we did, we waited till the middle of the year to kind of get an idea where they are, where they sat at the middle of the year versus at the beginning of the year. And then what we'll do at the end of the year, we'll push and pull on both of them again, computer and paper again.
And I'm also tickled to death. You already answered this question again, but I'm also tickled to death about parent involvement with the diversity of the school systems now. Because the quicker you get the parents on board, that's going to make it easier for Butler and Sunset and the middle school and the high school. Y'all are the first point of contact.
Yes, sir. We set the foundation for
y'all
Clinton School.
set the foundation for everything, and I'm tickled to death.
Yes, sir.
So quick question. And Mr. Hinton touched on something like that, diversity, which is great because we're utilizing the resources that we have for that. But as you're identifying the end of year goals and expectations to get them there, can we start pinpointing exactly what factors are the ones we really need to?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So go ahead, Ms. Canton. You want to talk? Because that's what we do during our data talks, right? Go ahead.
I'm speaking on the ELA part. Yes, when we get the data back, it breaks down, their PSF score, how they do that, their NWF, how they're able to take the sounds and blend them together.
Tell us what those letters.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry. All
I
right,
was going to say.
PSF, see, it's just second language. PSF is like funding segmentation. You give them a word cat, and they have to tell you all the sounds they hear in the word cat. Okay, so that's one of the things that they have to do. Another one is letter name and fluency. They have to read the letters of the alphabet, uppercase letters, lowercase letters, in random order mixed together as fast as they can, again in 60 seconds. Okay, the 60s, everything is 60 seconds for them. Another one they have to do, like I said, it was the NWF. That's nonsense word fluency. They have to, they'll give them a word like KOZ. It's not a real word because we don't want them to recognize that word. We want them to be able to sound out that word and blend it together. So we get each one of those individual scores. And for example, like Greg Dirks is blue. Okay. Well, I can look at his scores and see exactly what he scored in each one. And it may be that in PSF, whether he had to sound out each word, he can't do that. So that's where I stop and I am giving him interventions on his PSF. Okay. So we look at that. And then thanks to Mr. Dirks, we can see by middle of the year data, if the kid, what a kid needs to score in each one of those components to have average growth. They give us the score they need to make well above growth and then well above growth. So we have all that data, and right now we're compiling all that stuff and we're looking. So for Greg Dirks right now, I am setting him goals for him to reach so that by the end of the year, I know exactly where he needs to be when I give him the in-class assessment instead of just going, well, I hope he does good. I know exactly each one of those things where he needs to be.
Thank you, Ms. Kennedy.
Does that help?
Y'all are the front lines. That's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, and that correlates to our EVOS because in kindergarten, middle of the year to end of the year growth is what they use for our EVOS. Not beginning of the year to end of the year. It's middle of the year to end of the year.
You're awesome. Thank you for explaining it.
Not so, Ms. Kent.
Sorry, go ahead.
Can you share? Well, I'm listening to you talk about Blue, Mr. Greg Dirks, and what you do for him once you receive that data. But you got how many? 20. How many in your class?
17, 18.
17, 18. Can you share with me what the TA assist, what that looks like now?
Oh wow, they are lifesavers.
Do you have them all day now, or what's the setup? Tell me about that.
Half a day. We have them half a day, and then we have a floater that comes in for another part of the day. So about 75%, about 70% of the day, we have coverage. We have
Okay.
help. During small group, I have Miss Hannah Jones. Woo. And we have them grouped by what their skill area is, what they need to work on. Okay.
Mhm.
And that changes constantly.
Right.
You know, whenever they meet goals, we do progress monitor. Oh, trying to rearrange everybody again, to make sure they're where they need to be. And our TAs are in there, and we are giving them hands-on things. And in small groups, they're beating it just like we are. I mean, they're hitting it just as hard as we are about trying to get them to get all those things, those different parts mastered so that they'll have that growth that they need.
Good stuff. How many do you all have?
How many-
Yeah, in relation to the teacher, is it one IA per 2 teachers? Since you said it's half a day?
Yes, yes. It's
Okay.
one IA to 2 teachers, and then there's a floater among the pod, and they float around to all the teachers
Is
and help out.
and four in a pod, 3 in a pod? What's
In
the
my
pod
pod,
of
there's 5.
Ooh,
There's
okay.
5.
But we also have what I've done strategically is that I've placed an EL speaking IA. We've been blessed
Yes.
that that we have an EL and a Hispanic speaking IA, right, with every one of the pods, and that helps with parent
Tremendously.
communications. It helps with our
It helps
students
with
that
the
are
students.
right.
That's
And so in
amazing.
each pod, we have an EL IA that then it's strategically their floater, right? So that way it frees up their schedule. Let's say Miss Kennedy is sharing Miss Hannah Jones, right, with Miss Avery. And so what that allows Miss Reyes time to work with the other 4, right, in case that happens. In the 300, same way. And in Miss Davis's pod, same way. And the neat thing is what she's talking about is that burst schedule that you have. Every 10 days, we are progress monitoring. So we can reset the groups to slide them up and down. So let's say Greg drops down to a red, right? Probably where he should have been in the first place. I just got lucky that day. And that way, that intervention piece can come there.
Okay.
Okay. And so that's how that burst schedule kind of flows, right? It's the same burst schedule that we have that Butler has because first and second grade has M class as well. So their burst schedule will look probably very much similar to ours, and it's cycles. It's a 10-day cycle.
Okay.
On the 10th day, you reset and get ready for the next set of 10 days.
All right.
And then we also have Letterland. Letterland has assessments too that we're able to use. And that gives us an idea, in another type of way of what they can and cannot do and what we need to work on. So that's been a big help as well.
And is the same thing taking place? You're speaking on behalf of ELA. Is the same thing taking place with math?
Yes.
So math also has 4 parts, and we kind of realized that there's like a cat game that breaks up the math, and the kids are super excited to play that. So some kids will kind of, if I just push this really fast, I can get to the cat game. So we've broken it up by day. One day we'll do one portion, which might be like the geometry or the algebra. And then same thing with the data. When we get that data back, it kind of shows me, okay, this student might be green in geometry, but is yellow in algebra. So how can I move this child in with algebra? And something I was going to add was that we have really been diving into our curriculums this year. And we now know that we can, like with iReady, I can go in for my higher students and pull first grade information, pull first grade stuff to move them forward. Same thing with Letterland. We can pull first grade information and move those babies forward. Because in my experience, it's not just the students who are red that we're having a hard time moving, but like I've had a hard time moving those higher
Ones.
students. Yeah.
Yes, good stuff. Thank you so much for
You're
sharing.
All I wanted to say is the results, and particularly it jumped off the page with, I think it was the reading scores. But I've been sitting here and my house has been personally impacted by at least 1, 2, 3, almost all of you. But it's no surprise because of the quality of people. And y'all are top notch. So I just wanted to say that. And I have personal experience with that. So you're still Luke's favorite, Miss Kennedy. Okay.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you. And in the famous words of Miss Candy, keep beating and hitting. Okay, beating and hitting. All right, I think we have Butler Avenue remote.
Yes, Dr. Harding's either team or Dr. Harding will share the Butler Avenue plan. And Mr. Dirks was mentioning how the importance of ECHRS. That is very similar to accreditation. Without it, he would not be able to have pre-K. So it really does carry a heavy, heavy weight. So very proud of LC Carr.
Dr. Newkirk, if you wish, you can share your screen, and that may facilitate the driving a little bit. It would be a little harder. I could do it from here, but that's up to you. Either way.
Do you have it? Can you see it?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, good evening, everyone, or afternoon. I'm very much yellow, so when my superintendent said we were to report remotely, that's what I did, but we could have gladly been there to see your faces today. I'm so sorry that we didn't show up in person. I thought remote was the plan, so I apologize for that. But we are ready to present. I do have my team here with me presenting to you all today. Let me go back to the actual screen. Can you see that? I don't know if I share it. I don't know if it'll go into another window. So I'll just keep it like this if that's large enough. Is that going to be large enough for us? Okay, sounds good. So with me today, I have our intern, Miss Danielle Strickland. I also have a second grade teacher, Miss Tanya Starling. With us, we also have first grade teacher, Miss Heather Jordan. And we also have our teacher of the year, Miss Sheila Davidson, who is our PE teacher. And they will be discussing our plan with you all on today. So I'm going to turn it over so they can take it from here. Go team, go.
All right, it's going to start with me. Hi, I'm Heather. If Dr. Newkirk can go ahead, thank you. So, of course, we have our mission and vision statement. I'm sure you guys have already read this, but at Butler Avenue School, we are committed to providing a safe learning environment where all students are loved and encouraged to grow into successful members of society. And then by 2026, Clinton City Schools will be the premier learning community in the Southeast, improving the world of the the world on dark horse at a time, one dark horse at a time. Okay, so our first goal lies with reading an M class, and it's A3.09 and A4.01. And basically, our goal is that by June 2026, 82% of first grade students will be at or on above grade level in reading based on the end of the year assessment. And then by June 2026, 71% of all second grade students will be at or above grade level in reading based on their end of year assessment results as well. And some things that we are doing to assist with that is we have weekly PLC meetings with our teacher pods and with central office personnel. Monthly MTSS meetings with our students that are really struggling. We have those monthly. Quarterly, we have reading celebrations for incentives for meeting their reading goals. We use our IAs during reading interventions to support small group instruction. We have professional development on core curriculum materials such as Letterland. And then for our second grade, they were using EL, but now we are doing structured literacy. We do data-driven I and E groups, which we started after Christmas. So basically, our principal took a look at our EVOS data, and she picked teachers that were strong in teaching math. So on our pod, we have kids separated into reading. We have kids separated with math. We have kids that are separated for reading and math. And then we have kids who do not need interventions. They are with our enrichment teacher. And she took our EVOS data and our iReady data to determine which teachers would be doing what. And then also we had the privilege of going to AVID this year. So we are implementing WICOR, which stands for Writing, Inquiry, Collaboration, Organization, and Reading. So we are incorporating those strategies as well in our classrooms. If we take a look at our next slide, we have our data here. And as you can see, we are really growing our students. Last year, at the end of last year, we had 49% at the beginning of the year be at or above grade level. At mid-year, it changed to 66%, and at the end of the year for first grade, it was 78%. Now, we started off the year with 44% being at or above grade level, and it has gone up to 63% for first grade. In second grade, we had 55% at the beginning of the 2024-2025 school year be at or above grade level, and then 52% at the mid-year, and at the end of the year, it was 66%. And now this year, we started at 60%, and it has moved to 62%.
Hey, I'm Tanya Starling, and I would be discussing our math goal. So Butler Avenue is implementing a comprehensive plan to raise math proficiency. By utilizing iReady data at the beginning, middle, and end of the year, we aim to meet specific proficiency targets by June of 2026, 62% for first grade and 52% for second grade. We will achieve this goal through a tiered instruction system, ensuring every student receives evidence-based instruction matched to their specific need. Key actions include weekly collaboration meetings, small group instruction supported by assistants, data-driven rotation groups, and Wicker strategies within the classroom. We plan to keep track of our progress using report cards, iReady data, and regular parent communication to ensure accountability and transparency. Second grade is also using Acadience Math, and we have decided to use additional growth checks. We are using 2 growth checks per semester to help monitor growth. So
I'm gonna chime in right here to our board. First grade, you know, they're off to a great start, as well as second grade, but we want to do a little bit more in second grade this year, looking at our data. So as you could hear us say, especially with math, we're trying to do more growth checks and staying on top of the data, being more intentional this year with math as well as reading, but definitely with math this year as well.
Okay, so looking back at the end of the 24-25 school year, first grade ended with 52% of students on or above grade level, and second grade finished with 41%. So starting the current 2025 school year, we identified significant immediate needs. At the beginning of the year, first grade saw 19% of the students in red or at-risk categories. In second grade, that number was higher, with 39% of students starting in the red. So our mid-year interventions are already yielding results. According to our middle of the year data, we have significantly reduced those at-risk numbers. First grade reduced their red students from 19% down to just 5%. Second grade cut their red population by more than half, dropping from 39% down to 17%. And while we've moved many students out of the red and into the yellow, our focus for the remainder of the year is pushing these students into the green. We have more yellows because there were also 2 units in math that had not been taught at the time that they were given the middle of the year assessment as well. And currently our first grade is sitting at 24% proficiency and second grade is at 20% proficiency. With our new tiered instructions, we're confident in our ability to hit our June 2026 goal of 62% for first grade and 52% for second grade.
Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, I'm here to present your goal area 3 with parental engagement and involvement. So the school regularly communicates with parents and guardians about its expectations of them, as well as the curriculum as well. And we all know whenever parents are involved, kids reach their tip-top potential, and we make that learning experience even more comfortable for them. To increase our family and community involvement activities, our school plans to increase involvement with events for parent guardians to come and participate at our school. These events include open house, curriculum night, and ML night. Science and STEM night, teachers will engage parents in student learning through parent-teacher conferences and informing them on the math curriculum through the iReady weekly letter, creating opportunities for parents to give feedback about events that is happening at our school. We create a yearly calendar way ahead of time for parents to access at home and provide support for parents through Class Dojo. We provide data-driven I&E group rotations, engaging students through the implementation of Wicker strategies. And our data sources are there at the bottom that we use in order to collect this data to see where we are at and where we need to move in the parent participation. We have sign-in sheets at open house, sign-in sheets at curriculum night. We have PTSO meetings, award ceremonies, class dojo, parent-teacher conferences as well. Our STEM night is very successful every year. Weekly parent letters for iReady curriculum, progress reports, report cards, and parent involvement in SIT as well.
And just to chime in, just as you all mentioned to Mr. Dirks, it starts with LC Carr, the parent involvement, and they do such a phenomenal job with involving parent. I'm actually a parent of one of Miss Kennedy's students, and I love her to pieces. But I was excited this year because our curriculum night, let alone, went from about 90 parents last year to this year, 156 parents to sign up. So we are truly excited about what's happening between Butler Avenue and LC Carr, because they are truly the foundation, and we want to keep the momentum going. So when they get to sunset, the parent involvement will continue to go on there. We have one more goal to share with you, so I'm going to digress.
All right, that's me again, Heather. Our goal 4 is engaging our students with disabilities. The goal is that by June 2026, there will be an increase of at least 4% for students with disabilities on the end of year assessment who will be at or above benchmark. Additionally, at least 80% of students with disabilities will show growth from BOY to EOY. And if you take a look at our data, at the end of last year, we had 69% well below, then 9% below, and then 18% at benchmark. I can't see the blue, what the percentage is. And then at the beginning of this year, we started with 71%. Well below. And if you look at our mid-year, it is now 66%. So that means that those kids have moved further up down the line. The yellow is the below, and it's 7%. And then we went from 12% being at benchmark to 20% being at benchmark. And then we have 10% being well above benchmark to 7% well above benchmark. And then our next one, some things that are happening, some key action items are Tier 3 students support with an interventionalist with students who are well below benchmark, small group instruction, differentiated instruction, content replacement, student IEP goals, hands-on activities with resource teachers that support reading and math instruction. And I will say that our STEM teacher is doing a fabulous job with that, with all the things that she's been doing. I've seen her tie in reading and math into her lessons. So is Coach Davison. I've seen some things that she's been doing with them in PE that supports that as well. Individual support with instructional assistants, as well as classroom teachers to bridge gaps, core curriculum PD support, and district PD support, and EC pullouts and pushouts.
And I'll chime in on top of that. Of course, Jody Hall is covering a lot of the literacy in media as well as art. Our art teacher, she reads a story to them every day, every time they come to her class before they get into their lesson. So we are being more strategic about pulling in our resource teachers also to be a part of the team with our literacy and math goals this year as well. And I think we have one more slide, and then I can answer some questions. We can answer questions for you all.
Hey, can everybody hear me? Awesome. I'm Danielle Strickland, the intern between both LC Carr and Butler Avenue this year. And I just want to say really quickly, I'm very grateful for the opportunity. It has been wonderful to work for both administrators and to, see both schools grow and be a part of that. So I want to say thank you. I'm going to talk about our summary slide for Butler Avenue. So the importance of students working on grade level in both reading and math, we know goes well beyond the four walls of a classroom. It improves critical thinking and reasoning abilities. It increases their confidence and motivation. It can also lead to long-term educational opportunities, career readiness, and life skills needed in adulthood. Our parental involvement in our school is paramount for development of our students. It is important that our parent and guardians have communication with teachers. Parents need home support to assist with homework and establishing routines for success. Parents need to feel like they are a part of the school community. And I also want to say Miss Lee, our school counselor, does a fantastic job of engaging with our parents as well. A lot of times when I'm talking with students, she's right there also speaking with them, as well as Dr. Newkirk.
All right. Do you all have any questions for us?
I have one question for Miss Davison. On her slide, you referenced ML nights. Can you tell us what ML stands for and what that's about?
Absolutely. My first experience with ML Night, which is multi-language learner night, was absolutely amazing to see as many kids that came in for us to spend some one-on-one time with, to maybe make them feel as if, the climate of the school is theirs to own. When they come to school, that should be like their first, if not second home, to make them feel so welcome. So to actually pull those multi-language learners out, to make them have a specific night, to make them feel special, to make them feel even more connected to the school, was amazing to see. And those families thoroughly enjoyed it. We come together. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I apologize. I was going to chime in. You go ahead.
We just come together in a great setting and get to know each other, maybe one-on-one, a closer basis there, and share snacks, watch a movie. They rotate through different scenarios, and we get to see them more on a one-on-one basis, and we love that.
And so in addition to that, so our resource teachers pull the students and have that one-on-one time as Miss Lewis and Miss Travers is working with the parents inside of the cafeteria, and they're going through the curriculum and expectations and answering any questions that they may have. That's in addition to our curriculum night. So our ML parents are welcome there to our curriculum night, but this is in addition to that, just so they can get that personalized invitation to maybe address some concerns they may have, or get a better understanding of some things that maybe were not addressed at curriculum night, or maybe they didn't feel comfortable addressing at curriculum night. And so last year we had about 48 families to come. This year we had about the same. It was about 46 families. I don't know if there was some of political things that may have hindered some more families from coming out, but I do believe that it was a great success, and we're always looking forward to working with our ML families.
Good information. Thank you so much for sharing. I see there a lot of value in having the ML nights. So it's the first time that I've heard this much about it. So thank you so very much for sharing it with us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Any more questions?
I just wanted to say very briefly, I mean, what I said about LCK can be said about Butler Avenue. I'll say it a little different. Attitude reflects leadership. And just seeing the things that Dr. Law Firm has done with her staff, you can tell they have fun and they enjoy being around each other. And if they're doing that, then the rest will take care of itself. It's obvious that is by what we've seen tonight. So just Dr. Harding and your staff, just thank you, because it really is infectious when you see the things you do with your staff, like the videos we saw at Thanksgiving break and Christmas break. That's all fun, but it matters, and it creates an environment where teachers want to go the extra mile to help kids. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And I always say, because I want to make sure everyone understands we have fun, but my motto is we work first, play later. So we got to get the work done first, and then we can have a little fun. And so to see our data reflect the hard work that we do, allows us to celebrate the way that we do. And our students love it. And I would say I was salty with first grade because they didn't include me on the Thanksgiving one. I like to have fun, but it was so, so good to me. So thank you all for that. Any more questions? Everything else the car said applies to us. Yes.
Dr. Newkirk, this is Dr. Rod. Question. When we heard Elsie Carr's presentation, they were talking about the rotating teacher assistants, correct?
Okay. Yes.
Teacher assistants, and that Mr. Dirk strategically had also placed some bilingual
teacher assistants. Are you able to also have that opportunity to have bilingual folks? Because again, his students are going to you, so you definitely want to have the continuity and be able to provide these great results like you're doing today.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, because I don't want to say unfortunately, fortunately, our turnover is not as much as maybe some other places. So we don't really get to hire IAs as much. So several IAs are not bilingual. But we do have several bilingual teachers strategically placed on different pods. We do have a bilingual IA, but unfortunately we can't stretch her but so much. But we do have her in a situation where our IAs are assigned 3 to a teacher, but we are able to assign her 2 to a teacher and kind of let her float a little bit as needed. But we do not have the same capability as far as having a bilingual IA on every pod like Mr. Dirks. I don't want to lose anybody, but I would love to have somebody else that's bilingual. Matter of fact, we have 2 because I forgot Miss Rodriguez as well, bilingual IAs, but we do not have as many as Mr. Dirks.
But it's working, right?
Oh, absolutely. We have some things in place and we make sure that it absolutely. Yes, sir. And of course, I would not assign a bilingual IA to a pod who may have a bilingual teacher because that teacher sometimes can help, especially with I&E groups, and be a great resource to us. So we put them in the places where we feel like they can grow us the most and help us out the most. And they're more than able and willing to do what we need them to do for the children.
Thank you, Dr. Newkirk, and your staff for all your hard work. I can see the glee and joy in your faces as well. Good job.
Thank you.
We need to approve these, right? Right. So you've heard the Carr School staff give their school improvement plan for this year and the Butler staff. I need a motion to approve both those plans.
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
Motion made by Pastor Emmanuel. Can I get a second? Second, Mr. Dr. Raw. All in favor, let it be known by the word aye. Aye. Both plans, improvement plans approved. Go forth and do great things. I'm getting a little skeptical about our 5:30 dismissal, but we're gonna move on. I'm getting skeptical. All right, Mr. CHS curriculum update, right?
Yes, yes. We have been working on next year's curriculum guide or handbook because we're right at the point where students will start registering for next year. But we also just wanted to make sure that the board is aware of some of those changes. So very quickly, a state change is for OCS students used to take applied science, and now with students that enter 9th grade this year, applied science is no longer an available option. They will need to take physical science or environmental science. And so that's new based on a change within the curriculum for the state. Currently, we do have some endorsements, and Dr. Johnson just asked me to review what was currently in the curriculum guide for endorsements, and you'll be familiar with them. Currently, Clinton High School offers the career endorsement, North Carolina Academic Scholars, global language or college endorsement. And last year, actually, this came about in the spring, but there are 2 additional endorsement options that are available for graduating seniors. And so we wanted to make sure that Clinton High School students were afforded the opportunity at endorsements that are offered at other high schools in North Carolina. And those are an additional 2, which are art and citizenship endorsement options. And if a student meets the qualifications for any of these endorsements, it's just an extra tag that can go on their high school transcript. So when it arrives for at a college or work in the future, it would have that listed as an endorsement option. Do you want me to keep going, or do we have any questions there on either of those 2?
I have a question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead. Okay, my question is on the first one with the
Okay.
students who will now take physical science or environmental science entering the 25-26 school year.
If they were, the way they roll these things out is they'll start it when a student enters ninth grade. So if they were a 10th, 11th, or 12th grade student this year, they can have applied science on their transcript. But if they were a freshman this year, if they came in as a freshman in the ninth grade and they're in the track for OCS, then they're going to need to take physical science or environmental science.
So I understand that. My
Okay.
question is, we're halfway through the 25-26 school year, and
Right.
this appears to me, I thought this was the curriculum updates for next year's handbook.
It is.
So how do these students even know about this? Or they are behind?
They do through the guidance department. And the guidance department, working with the testing and accountability, they're in constant communication about things. But we didn't find out about it early enough to have it in last year's curriculum guide. Plus, it's an update for this year. But the current ninth graders do know about it through their teachers, through the guidance department, and all of that communication.
And you're saying that we received it late. When did we receive this?
Well, that's a great question. It just came across my desk recently, and in time to share it with you, and we tagged it for this coming year's curriculum guide because you approved the curriculum guide about this time of year. And so we just kind of make notes, kind of like you do with discipline.
Excuse me just a minute. I understand that we approved the curriculum guide before the school year
Right.
starts. I get where you're going with that. But my concern is when those ninth graders went to curriculum night, well, no, they do it the spring of the year, but when
Right.
they entered ninth grade at the high school 25, did they know about, were their parents notified this, or did this change come afterwards? Because and I don't know when this falls in their schedule, but
Right.
if there was some availability for somebody to take some of this in the first semester of ninth grade, they've already missed it. That's where I'm going with the trying to understand the timeliness of this, and making sure that the students are aware, they were aware before they entered ninth grade that this change was taking place.
If they were not, they were made aware when they got there in the fall. So that.
Yeah, I'll take this question. So the thing with the way that we are operating now in North Carolina in regards to our legislators, there are many things that transpire and happen after the school year has started. As new laws are passed and as laws are, as things that come forward, happen, and then they are voted on, and then the governor decides to, what's the word, John, I'm looking for when you veto something. We still have three items right now that could become state law at any time that our legislators come together. So all of these 4 items that you're going to see tonight are all state requirements that the state is requiring for all school systems to do that may or may not have happened after the school year started. Now, we're right here on this one that Ms. Carroll's asked the question about OCS students for applied science. That's a very small group of students. Our OCS students are, a specific group of students that are on their occupational course of study, on their IEPs. And physical science is normally an 11th grade class. So it's possible that this didn't even apply to any of those kids. And we also teach, and Dr. Carr can correct me if I'm wrong, we teach the applied science class through NCVPS. Is that correct?
That's correct, because of having a certified teacher in that area.
But all 4 of these that we're going to talk about are this is all state requirements that we're putting in the curriculum guide for next year, because most likely they probably got approved this summer, but they weren't in our curriculum guide when we approved it in the for 25 school
25,
year
mhm.
for the 25-26 curriculum guide.
You addressed my concern when you said that these are typically 11th grade courses, so it would not have impacted their 9th grade year. That was my concern. Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Carter,
Okay.
Dr. Johnson kind of alluded to this, but for OCS, does the OCS/AC teacher teach the physical science and environmental science, or do they go to the regular program for that?
Well, they're supporting, but Dr. Johnson mentioned that a lot of our OCS courses are offered through North Carolina Virtual Public because of certification. We need to make sure that we have a certified teacher teaching the course, so they're going to support.
Yeah, so a couple of years, actually, I think this happened when I was a principal, actually, if I remember correctly, she'll know. But several years ago, we used to just have like OCS certifications. And then when EC kind of went in a different direction, it was required that these EC teachers hold certifications in all areas that they were teaching in. So in order to teach the OCS math class, they had to have math certification. In order to teach the science class, they had to have science certification. In order to teach the ELA, they had to have ELA certification. So what happened, and I think NCVPS saw a way to make a little bit of money, they have a certified teacher who teaches this in tandem with the EC teacher. So Jeremy would be the math professional and he would be teaching it online, and I would be the EC OCS teacher providing the one-on-one supports to my students in the room while the math content expert teaches it through the online NCVPS.
Thank you. Okay, an additional change to course offering availability for how it appears on the transcript. There are new codes that a student can request, and so we needed to make sure that the board was aware of these. So for a CCP course, if it does not count for their high school graduation credit, and that's an important disclaimer there, because for instance, some college courses, it takes English 111 and 112, for instance, to equal English 3. So that those two classes would not be available for these different changes. But a student could request one of these codes instead of a numerical number. So they could request an audit, an FF, or a WP, or incomplete has been around for a long time, but this is a bit of a change because, as you can imagine, if it's not a numerical grade, then it affects GPA. So we're working on making sure that we have a standard where the high school will select when a student would be eligible to make that determination. For instance, is it going to be the first 20 days of class? Is it going to be halfway through the course? And you know that the college offers lots of different kinds of courses. Some are 15 weeks, some are 8 weeks, some are 5 weeks. So there needs to be that kind of conversation at the high school, but of course the principal ultimately has authority over determining that. But that's a pretty big change. So we wanted to make sure that you knew that that was a difference in the new curriculum guide. And that also is somewhat similar to credit recovery now. Is a little bit different. Each school system, the local system, was tasked with coming up with how they would come up with how that would be determined. And what was discussed in our leadership team and our CNI team was doing a 50-50 split, because anything less than that, a student wouldn't be able to be successful. So if you did a 50-50 split, like if it's a course recovery course, they're going to get 50% based on the first time they took the class and 50% on the second time they took the class to make what they'll ultimately have in the course. And that too was a change that PSUs were asked to. What the PSU was asked to do is come up with what that split was going to look like on the local. But those are really the only significant changes in the curriculum guide. Of course, we can print the entire curriculum guide or make it available in a link, but those are just kind of some highlights.
Board members have questions or comments for Dr. Carr?
I think I just need a point of clarity.
Okay.
The CCP course, if they need the course for graduation, then the grade has to appear on
Yes,
the
ma'am.
transcript is what it says here.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
if I'm just taking the course, I have what I need for graduation. I'm just taking this extra course. I don't have to have a grade. I can use one of these other designations.
That is correct. What we need to determine is when the student could make that decision. Like that's what needs to be determined so that it's not 2 days before the class ends.
Okay, and give me an example, if you can,
Sure.
why I would, because you were telling me that these, of course, these designations won't affect the GPA. So I get that. Why? Oh, if they're failing it, then okay, I'm good. Okay.
I honestly wish that this had been an option for my own children, because there's many courses they take that they don't need for high school graduation, and it would have greatly impacted the GPA.
Yeah, I think I can help you there, Miss Carol, because what we are going to do is we're going to attempt to put in a rule that wouldn't allow a student to come to the last 2 weeks and they're failing the course, and now that they decide, oh, well, I made a mistake. I wanted to do that as an FF or an audit exception. But what our plan is let's say that you have a student that knows that they want to go either to the community college track, to the 4-year track, and they know that this class may be it's a challenge for them, may be a little difficult, but they want to take it just to get the credit or the chance at the credit. So they may say, all right, I'm going to take this as an audit. This class, let's say it's Math 161, like pre-calculus or statistics. I need this class at my 4-year university, but I'm just not sure if I'm going to be able to take it because it's, I didn't do real well in Math 4. So I'm going to take it here at community college as an audit exception or a pass option. And then you can get the pass credit for the statistics or the calculus, and it wouldn't hurt your GPA, even if you took the class and you did fail it.
Is there a limit how many times you can do that?
No, not now. The only caveat is if it was counting for high school graduation, because it's still going to appear on their college transcript, and anything C or above transfers. So, and if it's below a C, then it doesn't transfer. So, right. But it is definitely a win for students to be able to exercise these. And then, of course, the principal still has that ultimate decision-making opportunity because there are things that happen, like the last week and a half of the class, or, there are just family emergencies and things that may happen that go awry.
So if we end up saying y'all, us, whoever's got the determination, 25 days in, you can't do anything, but then the principal can.
And that's by state law too. Yes.
He can, something comes up and he can say them 25 days is out. We're going to do this as any number of those that would help benefit the child.
Right. And it is important that whatever decision is made, that maybe it's 10% of the class or 15% of the class, because you've got 5-week courses and 8-week courses. And so you don't want to limit it to the number of days. Right. So yes, right. But yes, sir. He can grade and classify.
Quick question about all this, really. Logistically speaking, for various different reasons, being they change the rules in the middle of the game or add this, that, or whatever. It sounds like a logistical nightmare in terms of keeping up with everything. And are we up with the latest whatever when it comes to, how they're going to use credit recovery, for example, and the things changing just there. So just making sure, boots on the ground in the building, who's responsible other than the principal? Who's responsible for making sure we're up to date and know to help make sure we don't mess something up for a kid?
It's a combination between the guidance department, the data manager. They're all working together to make sure that we are up to date with what the state board wants us to do with Infinite Campus, because a lot of this is having to be almost discovered and written as we go along, because we were one of the very first districts to encounter some of these things as a leader with Infinite Campus.
Yeah, what I'll stress on what Dr. Carr just said is, so I took both of these two that are up here on these final two, I posed those to the Southeast superintendents. What are you doing with high school transcripts, audit, FF, incomplete, and then what are you doing with credit recovery? Silence. None of the superintendents, even in large districts, had this raised at their level. And it was all brand new information. So then I sent it to Kathy Spencer. I don't know how many of y'all know Kathy, but Kathy is the Southeast Regional Alliance superintendent liaison, but she also now works kind of like Dr. Carr as the chief academic advisor for Onslow County Schools. And she's like, yeah, we've seen this, started talking about it, but we've not made a final decision. For this one under here, the credit recovery can use non-numeric marks. We had to come up with a decision on how much the credit recovery course was going to count in regards to the previous course. Because in past, you just you just failed the course, and then you took it over and it replaced as a pass-fail the previous course. So this was brand new. Again, not a single superintendent in the Southeast had seen this. And I don't know, that was probably around October, September, when I was sending these questions out. We were talking about it in cabinet meeting. I said, all right, I'll just ask these other superintendents. Then I brought it to the superintendent meeting. Jamie and I talked about it a lot. Dr. King and I talked about it a lot. We couldn't really decide, so we talked to our principals and our guidance counselors. We put it out. Cheryl Kimbrough was very, very aware of this information, and we came up with what we thought was most fair was 50% for the previous course and 50% for the credit recovery, because you don't want to hinder kids. Let's say that they made a 50. Well, if it's anything less than 50-50, there were some districts that were thinking about doing 70% previous course. Well, then if you've made a 50, do you know what you would have to make to earn a 60 to pass the course if that class counted 70%? It's like a 90. So we decided to go with a 50-50. So if I've made a 50, and then I make a 90 on my credit recovery class, your overall grade is a 70, because these two grades are going to average together. And our
guidance department is got that under control.
Guidance department understands it. Angie understands it at the high school, because it has to go on the transcript. Teachers have to know. So we spent a lot of time sharing that information. And do not know where other districts are with it other than Dr. King, and he's going to do 50-50 as well in Sampson County School.
So we kind of making the mold of this as we go.
Well, I think it goes back to what I said earlier, Mr. Edgerton, that this information just kind of came down after the school year started. And whenever that happens, we're all like, we're all kind of, trying to figure out what to do.
I love how it comes down with zero guidance or, just kind of make it up as you go along. It's almost how it seems.
Yeah, because the credit recovery courses are, essential to, and there's always been rules about like, y'all help me out.
Incompletes, withdrawals, all that.
No, course for credit. Is that right, team? So I could take the course over and do course for credit, and it would replace the previously failed class on my GPA, and that class would just kind of be like
Suppressed.
That was not an option for credit recovery, but now it is, because it gets suppressed when the two classes merge together as one class. So my failed class and my credit recovery class are now equally going to count the same. And I failed this course. I failed English 2, but I took it together. I took a credit recovery English 2, made a 50 on the original class, made a 90 on the credit recovery. They merged together and I got a 70 for English 2.
Who makes the decision? The counselor or the principal?
Which decision?
To allow the student to get out of that course or whatever happens those last 2 weeks and then jump on the credit recovery.
No. This is just totally different.
Okay.
So we failed.
Misunderstood.
We failed the course.
We failed. Okay.
So we go to credit recovery.
Okay.
And then credit recovery will determine what we make on that course will be averaged in with our failed course to come up with our,
and that's the 50-50.
It's the 50-50.
And sometimes it depends on when the student failed the course, because the standard at Clinton High is you fail a class in the fall, we put you back in the class in the spring because you're more likely to be successful. You just completed the class. Let's go ahead and take it again. Right. However, in the spring, you don't have the option of starting it again right away. So a summer option is made available. And I think that's what you're referring to with the 2 weeks. And so it's a little bit different based on when you are unsuccessful in the course.
So following up on that, if I did not pass the class in the fall, I take the class over in the spring, or I take credit recovery in the spring?
Well, you take the class over in the spring for credit recovery. And that's the best I can explain it to you. But like, for instance, English 9 is a really important course. So you're going to take the whole class again in the spring, if at all possible. And, sometimes there's dynamics on, well, we already had 34 in every course that we were offering for every section. So it's an impossibility. So in that regard, it would have to wait and give the student the option to take it in the summer. But if at all possible, they're putting them right back in the course.
Okay, so that's the fall spring example. In the spring, you don't pass the class in the spring, and the next opportunity is in the summer.
And you're hoping that they're going to come for those 2 weeks in the summer and be successful. If not, then they'll be put back in it again in the fall.
Okay, so what I was going to ask you about after the spring, if they do not pass it in the spring, and in the summer, it's just 2 weeks, but it's not a class like they would be going through the semester. It's the computer based, and that's correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That's two totally different.
I don't disagree.
It's not fair.
I get you.
There's no.
I get you.
That's not fair. Okay. Yeah, but
I
that's on us
understand.
to make that decision.
And the counselors are talking with the teachers, they're talking with the principal, and the ultimate goal was the student be successful. So some of that is determined by what path the student is on. Perhaps even who's teaching the courses, when it's offered, what other classes they're taking, right, right. Was it attendance,
I think one thing we're also missing, this is very key about credit recovery. All right. So the difference between course for credit is I repeat this whole course, we're 176 days. So all 88 days, I have to repeat that course. Credit recovery is just portions of the class that I did not achieve. I don't have to repeat the whole course for credit recovery. Let's just say that I didn't understand, it's not going to be this, but let's just say I didn't understand fractions in the mathematics course. So the teacher could work with me to ensure that I master fractions. And when I master fractions, that's going to be my credit recovery portion of the course. And now I am deemed, my 50% is going to average in with my other 50%, and that's going to give me my course grade.
So then let's back up to this fall spring example we just gave then, because what we said was I do not pass the class in the fall, but I take the course over in the spring. So that would be course for credit.
Yes.
Am I also doing credit recovery while I'm taking course for credit?
No. So in a perfect, now again, we're given perfect world situations. We're saying that the kid failed it in the fall. In a perfect world situation, we're going to put the kid right back in the course for credit in the second semester. Now, again, things happen, things come up. We're trying to work with kids to either get them graduated, whatever, get them a credit that they need. But they have the option after they failed the course one time and gone back into course for credit to do credit recovery.
So under course for credit, when they take the class the second time in the spring, whatever grade they receive is the grade they get. There's no half or nothing, all of it. Okay.
it's really complicated, and you've got some students that are taking the same class 3 times. I mean,
well, that's where I was getting ready to go next, because
Yes,
I failed it in the fall, then I failed it in the spring, and then now I'm going to take the 2 weeks credit recovery in the fall. Which one of those previous failing grades you going to receive?
Yeah. And so we actually, and y'all may or
Why
may
can't
not-
we take the highest one? It ain't specified up there. If I did better in the fall than I did in the spring, well, when you take my grade from the fall, it doesn't say we're taking the most recent. Yeah, take the highest one.
Yeah, and what y'all may or may not know, we used to have a local procedure that they had to take the class 2 times before they could go into credit recovery. Now we stopped.
Yes, I remember that.
Now we stopped that years ago because that's not what's best for kids.
Right.
But again, in a perfect world scenario, we try to get them back into course for credits. But if that's not possible, then you have the credit recovery option. And it really kind of depends on what their grade is. I mean, if a student, is given the teacher and the principal, and they're having these discussions, they're giving that person all they got. They're coming to school. They're showing up they're coming to every class. They're not got an abundance of absences, and they got a 58. Then we may give them the option to do credit recovery the first time because they were just a little segment of the course that they didn't get. Now, if they miss 36 of the 88 days, they've not turned in assignments, they've been tardy 25 days, that might be the reason that they failed. And then we can't say, oh, well, you just missed this little segment or this just little segment. Then you're going to have to take that whole course back over.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's a lot.
Dr. Carr, any
Yes,
more
ma'am.
on that? Do you need a
No,
vote on that, or is that just information only?
all of those were state.
Okay.
And so we needed to put it in print so
Okay.
that all parents and students knew that these are options available to everyone.
died, so I guess I would say we need to vote it. Vote to approve the curriculum. This is for next year.
It is. But I thought that you needed to hear the updates because students are going to be told about it like in a couple weeks.
And
So-
these are all of the updates.
Th-
There won't be any
that's right.
additional updates coming.
I
where's the guy?
certainly can't guarantee that.
No, I mean, if
Yeah.
we approve, typically you bring this is January though. This is
Mhm.
early for us to be getting the guide. This is early for us to get in the curriculum guide updates. So that's what I'm asking. If we approve these, but you're saying that we could, come next month, they might have something else that they're updating in the curriculum guide. Okay, so if.
But
we
all
guys-
you can offer students is this is the current.
Mm-hmm.
But we just felt like you should hear the current before it's shared with the students.
With the students, yes. So then sound like we need to go ahead and approve it because they're gonna get it anyway. Yeah.
Well, yes, ma'am. And they'll also be doing registration for students
Uh-huh.
beginning in February. So we'll
All right.
start going ahead and register students. I think what Dr. Carr and I are trying to say is we're giving you the information that we know of
As of
on
5:36.
January 26, 2026. Now,
5:36.
It could be different at 6 o'clock. If these three bills that have been vetoed somehow get approved, there could be things that they add into those 300-page documents that may
Okay.
affect the curriculum guide for next year. And then,
Okay.
all we can
Step
do is
back
what we
and
got
punt.
at this time.
Right. Okay, so then I'll move that we approve the curriculum updates as presented at this time.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by the word aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you so much. Mr. Lowe, take your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Board members, I just have some updates. I've got a neat drone picture that we were able to get from Wolf Trail Engineering at the close, finally, of our Sunset Avenue project. We finally got the correct windows and the correct size, got them installed, and with the rain since then, we've had no leaks in that hallway. So that is a good sign so far. We have a year warranty, so if something comes up, a heavier rain, and something happens, we'll reach back out to that contractor.
You do know what we want to know. Right.
We calculated, I don't have it in front of me, so I don't want to name specific days, but approximately $50,000 in liquidated damages.
Uh-huh. That's good
So
enough. Thank
we,
you.
We don't have their final pay application or what we call the closeout book, which gives us all the warranty, but that's underway. They've signed the new adjusted contract with the liquidated damages applied contractor after some conversation. And I rejected their compromise they wanted. They said, okay, we'll sign it, and that's in place. So
Good work, John.
it worked out eventually. It was longer than I wanted for that project. And just for your view, another view of the front of the auditorium, which did finish on time. So that turned out great. We finally addressed the ruts in the playground at Sunset Avenue. If you remember or had been over there, that particular area where students access the playground, the rainwater had eroded pretty badly. And we had different contractors with different ideas of how to address it. We found one who would put in this concrete pad, and it's brushed, so it's not going to be slick when it's wet. We'll see how it holds. I'm worried about the end of it towards the playground. We don't want to put rock or gravel there because you know what kids do with rock and gravel. But, we'll address any other concerns as they come up. And I did want to share, we added a pedestrian gate on the visitor side fence of the football field, just towards the auxiliary building end of the visitors bleachers. So when we have track, people can go to the field events without having to walk out and go around either by the field house or back out by the ticket booth. So that's a new addition to the campuses. All right. Any questions for me?
Thank you, Mr. Lowe.
Solar panels still saving a little bit of money?
Solar panels still operating and generating enough to cover the building needs in that facility on most days until you get into hot summer. So still operating with.
Thank you, Mr. Lowe, and thank you, Dr. Carter. I'm not sure I said that to you, but I appreciate what you do. Ms. Peterson, I'm not sure about this part. Skip, Ms. Peterson.
More homework. On board docs, you will find approximately 15 policies for your perusal during the month off that we have in February.
What happened to the 3 or 4 at the time?
Well, you have a whole month off.
They multiply.
Same thing we told you about the school laws.
But you have a month off. So in the month
she's
of March,
punishing us for the month off, right?
before the month of March, please let me know if you have any questions on said 15 policies. Thank you.
All right, we do. Thank you, Ms. Peterson. If we don't act like it, we do. All right, Doc.
I'll start with a funny story. So a while ago, I was messing around in this Diligent, and I was moving stuff around. Cause I didn't know I had access. So we need to take my access away because I was moving stuff. I had John way above. I had the board stuff way above John. So I don't think I edited it, but
Luckily, you didn't publish and it didn't change.
So I'm good. So John, if you will, start with our shout outs. Most of these you've seen. I'll go through these super quick, John. These are our review of shout outs that started back in December the 8th. We've got our SMS and CHS winter concert, several pictures from that. We've got our Clinton Christmas parade, always a fun and exciting event. Great pictures from there. Our Sunset Avenue Elementary Christmas concert, some good pictures from that, as well as our BT Merry Christmas event with all of our beginning teachers and staff. You've got some photos here from the LCK Sing Along Fun. Principal Dirks' staff always has a great time at LCK. We have our Native American, and we also included our other nationalities from our ML students in our cultural celebration that we had some really good food that afternoon and some really good time together. We had Clinton Community Church provide donuts on our back to school day that we came back from the Christmas break. Thank them. We had students, several CHS band students. This was the event at the middle school. Is that correct, John?
Yes, we hosted this event at Sampson Middle.
Yeah, so I came back that afternoon, and boy, the kids were everywhere. But you can see 475 kids, and we had the following kids that have scored high enough. Alexa Herrera, 10th chair flute. Alexander Cruz Bonilla, first chair French horn, and she was eligible to audition for all state honors band. If you've been following Alexander, she's been first chair French horn for years, it seems like. Ricardo Centino is first alternate tuba, but John feels that first alternate position with the things that all of our kids are involved in now, that student will probably be able to participate.
And especially with the weather impending this weekend when the clinic is supposed to occur, and they're already talking about shifting it, so that could create opportunities for the alternates. And while you're on the high school and us hosting it, our new director at the middle school, Miss Faircloth, learned under Miss Lowe about being the chair for this event. She served as a site host, but learned about being the chair. And we're hoping the organization will keep her as the chair because this also benefits our community. For example, when it was all over, a lot of the directors from Cumberland County Schools, just to make it valuable to the students or more engaging for the students, because who wants to really come sit in a gym all day and warm up and audition, and then you may not have an opportunity to make the band. You never know who may show up to auditions. You may think you're on your game and some other students are better than you, but a lot of them took time to take their students to our local restaurants. And so it benefits not only our school for the exposure to host an event and run it well, but it benefits our community and you have parents who come and pick their kids up early and they stop through at our eateries and maybe they fill up with a tank of gas. So it's a benefit to our community as well.
John, before you cut your mic off, so I don't say this wrong, go ahead and tell us the difference between the symphonic band and the other bands.
Okay, at the middle school level, we don't split it by grades like the high school, which is a 9-10 group and 11-12 group. So they take the scores, and per each instrument is a different number of instruments. For example, we accept 10 flutes into each ensemble. So at the middle school, we take the top 10 scores for flutes, and they're in the symphonic band, and the next 10 scores are in the concert band. And it's a slightly different number for each instrument. You know, there's 4 alto saxophones. So the top 4 in symphonic, the next 4 in concert band. So that delineates the difference.
Thank you, John. I always get that wrong, so I wanted him to share that. And this event was also recently at Mac Williams, and we had Raylan Johnson, who was second chair oboe. She will be eligible for all state. Aya Nichols, 15th chair clarinet symphonic. Ava Val, first chair clarinet concert. Juan Gonzalez, second chair bass clarinet. Bass. Finley Rice, second chair French horn concert, and Trip Gillespie, first chair trombone concert. We've already celebrated Miss Carol Worley, but she joined her constituents there at the State Board of Education meeting. This is a photo from her first event, and I want to say, if you don't have knowledge of this, just know that Miss Worley has given up about 25 of her days over this next year to participate in the State Board of Education and the NCSBA event. So she's given up a lot of her time.
I just want to say, you know, not us nominating Miss Carol and all, wonderful honor, but if any of her meetings are in Greensboro or anywhere around where we ate that night, the payback would be you bring us a to-go plate home.
Glad you enjoyed
She really thanks us, right?
And we had some teacher spotlights. So we had Miss Farrah Harlan, and I'm not going to ask John to click that, but you have this information. We will hear about, we've already seen and heard from Coach K, but we'll hear about her in a few minutes. Her teacher spotlight as well. So Farrah's at the middle school. She teaches 6th grade math. Kristen, we call her Coach K. She's at Butler Avenue. She's our STEM teacher. And then, of course, Anthony, y'all know we call him Smooth. Anthony Peterson teaches science for us at the high school. They were the 3 teachers that were spotlighted over this last month. John, was that all on that one? Will you just make sure? Okay. So now we'll get into the good news that you may or may have not seen. You have seen the newsletter. That was all the good news from the December meeting. We'll skip that. A lot of y'all know Miss Alondra Williams. We want to thank her. She not only does she do these little events that we're fixing to talk about, but she still supports our teachers and does a lot of things for our EC self-contained teachers and still helps us out at times here in Clinton City School. But this event that she sponsors through her ministry, Say So Ministries, provides gifts and things for our students, and that is at all of our schools. She works with our guidance counselor, so we thank her for that. Ms. Peterson worked with our Women's Baptist Home and Foreign Missionary Convention during their Mission and Actions program, and they made several donations of non-perishable food items to the SMS and CHS food pantries. That was a lot of work, but Ms. Peterson, we appreciate your hard work and dedication, and we thank them for their support as well. We had some retired teachers from Clinton and some NC-A&T alumni, Miss May Parker, Miss Brenda Blackman, and Mr. Philip Williamson. They shared books and school supplies with 2 of our 3rd grade beginning teachers, Miss Angela Faison on the left and Miss Maria Santos on the right. So we thank them for their time and dedication still to Clinton City Schools. This is Coach K. This is her picture. And so we want to celebrate Miss Kristen Calhoun Menace. She recently found out that she has received the 2026 North Carolina Teaching Fellows. And so while she continues to work here in Clinton, she's going to go back to school to receive her 4-year degree to become a teacher. So real excited for Kristen and Coach K, as we call her, as she moves forward. I even hate to even present this information, but I am. So congratulations to our 5th grade math extraordinaire, Mr. Jeff Royal, who will be retiring at the end of the month. Jeff has been with us in that 5th grade classroom since July 31st, 2000. He's made an impact on countless number of students. This is this past Friday. You can see they all got smiling faces, but you know they're not really smiling. But we're thankful to Jeff, and we do think that Jeff is going to probably come back to see us in about 6 months. So, Jeff, we wish you the best of luck for the next 6 months. Don't forget about us. Then we had several current and past Dark Horse Fellows that celebrated the Christmas holiday season during our event for Dark Horse Fellows at CHS. And then we've had Woodland Pierre, who's coming back to sub for Mr. Royal and his class for the remainder of the school year while she is finalizing her degree at Fayetteville State. So welcome back to Woodland. Woodland is the young lady on the far right over there. So glad to have Woodland back and in Jeff's class, and she's a math expert. So really excited for her. Ms. Peterson worked hard with her nursing staff, and we did receive the NCDPI Feminine Hygiene Products Grant again. So we received full funding for what we asked for. That's always good to receive full funding. You heard earlier from Dr. Newkirk, and Dr. Newkirk was nominated by a former colleague and Clinton City School teammate, Miss India Rich Moultrie, for the 2025-26 Life Changer of the Year Award. I went to that website last night, and I was going to pull down the website and just see the people that were nominated. And I started, and they showed 4 names, and then there were 1,000 more pages. And I was like, oh, well, so good luck to Angela. There is some big prize money with this, but just know she's competing against about 4,000 people from across the United States. But if anybody can do it, Angela can do it. And we wish her the best of luck as she goes forward for that. Dr. Al Bryant from Campbell University stopped by recently, and he presented us with some pennants, and you'll see those on the next page, John. And then he asked me for my bio. He wanted to highlight the things going on in Clinton City, so I've attached that article. No need to pull it up, John, but you've got the article that he threw in on his LinkedIn account, so that's there for you to look at. We had, John, let's play the bucket band. I don't know if ours... any of our board have seen our bucket band from Sampson Middle School. Speaking of Miss Faircloth, middle school. So, and during our I&E group, she has this group of students that are coming into her, and they wanted to do something different. And so she created this bucket band, and they were a part of our celebration for our second 9 weeks assembly at Sampson Middle School. They also did another song that wasn't a rock song. I like the rock song better, so I included that one. But they did a great, great job. Our Sampson Middle School band students, they are seen here spreading some Christmas cheer at one of some of our retirees and things there at that event. So we appreciate them as well. We had 3 of our male athlete soccer players that received All-State, and that was Cullen, Holden, and James Warren. You can see their pictures and their families from there. And then we had our third person, Holden Spell. We've had 1 male and one female, which was AP Sinclair, and now 2 males, Griffin and Holden Spell, who have earned their all Mid-Atlantic. There were only 10 student athletes in all of North Carolina that received all Mid-Atlantic. So congratulations to Holden. Here are our fall sports MVPs. The ones that are pictured are Ella Rice, women's golf, Ruby Davila in women's cross country, Holden Spell in soccer, Cameron Marshburn in volleyball, April Sinclair in women's tennis. Not pictured was Jaden, we like to call him Jaybird Williams, in football, and Mr. Eric Bautista in men's cross country. If you have not seen our Lady Dark Horses play this year, you have missed out. They have won the Nathan Gay Holiday Classic. They have won the Chastity Melvin Christmas Tournament, and they're currently 16-0. They have an absolute war game on Wednesday night against James Keenan. Is canceled?
Wednesday night's canceled.
That's fantastic. That was going to be a war game. And if you hadn't seen them play, you need to come watch them play. They are a really good team. They're fun to play, fun to watch, and they get at it. Do have some thank you cards that I wanted to read tonight. Miss Sandra Kennedy, who you saw earlier, she wants to thank you for the gift that she received due to her mother's recent passing. John, I think we're good on that one. Martha Strickland Taylor, if you'll pull that one up. So you can see this right here. I'll just read the end. Your thoughtfulness and acts of kindness have been a source of encouragement during our period of bereavement. Being able to revisit your cards and thoughtful acts warms our hearts. We are grateful to all you have done. May God bless you, and may his light continue to shine through you, the Taylor family. And then I got this picture. Ms. Ortega asked me to share this with the board. I know you probably have seen our lanterns, but this is our lantern. Her brother recently passed, and I had to be at her school last week a couple of days because our principal was out with the flu, and she just came to me, just said, I just want you to express my heartfelt gratitude to the board. And so this is the picture of the lantern. And so she, again, her brother passed recently. She wanted to share that with us. You've got our newest enrollment numbers there, John, if you want to pull that up and just kind of show where we're at. Again, we had some students that were early graduates, so you see some of those numbers. Then we had some students that were juniors and now are seniors. But of course, we have, some of the students have decided not to return after the Christmas break, but you can see the number breakdown. Still in good place where we are right now, with 3,036 kids pre-K through 12. John, let's go to the next yellow. I don't even know where it's at. So the My Future County profile, you may have seen an article that was published in the Sampson Independent. That's just to let you know that the newest My Future County profile will be released in February. Our pre-K second school project, we are going to take an upcoming visit to Claxton Elementary. John is working with SFLA to get the date, and we have come to one of possible two dates, March 10th or 12th, and we're going to let SFLA decide which date works better for them, and I'll give that date to you in the next few days, hopefully. So we'll move forward, John. This is a couple of recent articles. You all know that I will be attending Wales with about 10 superintendents and a group from East Carolina. There were two recent articles. One is primarily on the work that's going on in the Sandhills. You've got an article there, and then you've got another article if you would like to have a little bit more information on community schools. I've got a couple of articles for you there as we look at methods and ways to get this to Clinton City schools. Again, there is some federal impending things around that money, so we'll just have to wait and see if it's going to be available after this school year. Just to let you know that our teacher working condition survey will take place March 2nd through 31st. Contacts are already being made with teachers, and the teachers have already shared their numbers with DPI. We did the principal working condition survey. There is the highlights of that information. If you want to kind of see that broken down, if you go to that where it says Notebook LM, John introduced my team and our principals and staff to an AI version. And we'll have to give them access, John. But it kind of breaks down all that information and it puts it together. You can watch it in like a podcast version. You can watch it in like a 4-minute little clip. But all in all, we did a great job with the information that we received from our principals in regards to communication from the district office and all that kind of stuff. But you can look at that at your leisure.
The state or just local? Did you just do it locally? Or is it
It's
statewide?
state. So the one that says pilot-wide summary report are the 11, I think it was 11 districts that participated. And then the Clinton City report is just Clinton City. And then the Notebook LM is the report from just Clinton City, kind of in a synopsis version. John, we'll work on getting you access to that. Some other things that we've been working on is the Making the Grade report. If you didn't know, this is a report that comes out annually. It's on national and state school funding. And North Carolina has gone plummeted in some areas. I think that we are 50th. And so there's, more work that's got to move forward. John also did a Notebook LM AI summary on that document as well. But just know that we're not getting good grades from our state funding model from the Making the Grade report. You've got some attendance information, attendance bonus. We didn't have the new information yet. Attendance bonuses will be paid to our employees in their February end of the month check. I'll get that new information and have it to you available for our March meeting. The 071 supplement is the extra state supplement that most districts in North Carolina get. Funds were paid to our teachers on January the 16th. They got that the Friday before Martin Luther King holiday. Just a reminder to our teachers who've already received their January checks that the taxes from that comes out in their January checks. And that's why you might see a difference for that.
Just the teachers, or did we divide it up with everybody?
It's just the teachers and individuals in the building other than administrators that have a teaching certificate.
Okay.
Yeah. Right there, classified staff, school and district level administrators are not eligible for the PRC's 071 bonus. John, what else do I have in yellow there? Safety Around Water program. We have 2 additional classes that have to attend Safety Around Water through the YMCA. One of those classes will receive their training February 2nd through 6th. The other class in Clinton City Schools will receive their training February 23rd through 27th. This is at the YMCA pool from noon to 2. If you want to show up and see what it's all about, show up. And you'll get to see what our students get to participate in on those dates. We do have the approved calendar. You guys approved that in the last board meeting. I just put it up here. Sampson Independent recently did a Dark Horse Ring of Honor article. That's there for your perusal to look at. Again, we're taking applications for the Dark Horse Ring of Honor through April, I believe it is, May. And hopefully to get our first class of Dark Horse Ring of Honor for this upcoming year. So excited about that. The deadline's May 1st. Thank you, John. And then you've got some dates there at the bottom, different things that are coming up. I did ask Ms. Van to put at your tables or at your seats tonight the updated Clinton City Schools numbers for, again, we only test students at the high school for fall testing. And what I asked Ms. Kimbrough to do was to pull those numbers from fall of 22-23, 23-24, 24-25, and 25-26. And if you look at the EOC fall, which is the last column at the bottom, you will see those numbers. Of course, we cannot talk about these numbers, so I can't say any of these numbers. But again, this is embargoed data. So I need you to sign your security agreement, which this board member already has, and leave this document at your seats when you leave tonight. But you can see that things are looking pretty good in comparison to previous school years and where we are with our fall testing data. One last thing we have decided, and John is fixing to get this information out to everyone, that we will be on a 2-hour delay for students and staff tomorrow. John will be getting that information out momentarily. But staff and students that are listening and parents, we will be operating on a 2-hour delay for all staff and students tomorrow, Tuesday, January 27th. We want everyone to be safe. Temperatures are going to be very, very cold tomorrow morning, and we just felt that we didn't need students outside waiting at bus stops and any potential for black ice if there's any water on the highway as well. So that's why we've made the decision to be on a 2-hour delay for tomorrow.
That's it.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Dr. J?
Is that we cannot